we had a bunch of small wins too that led up to that. So we had 1 to 6 out is our 4th place finish at Florence, and then the night before the Montpelier win at Lima, was racing for the lead the entire night. That was another big confidence booster. So, we had a lot of ups and downs.
This year we struggled in the features, but we were better than we were last year. Like Fort Crown, for instance, I'd made an adjustment for the feature to tighten him up, and he come in afterward. He said, "This thing's like a top fuel dragster. It's just blowing the tires off of it." And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
It was I crossed the checkers and I didn't think I won. And then we went down the backstretch, and that's when Aaron came over the radio again. He said the 21B to victory lane.
Brian Barr, your pole sitter, a 2-time starter with the USAC Gainesville Sprint Car National Championship, ended up in the semi-feature last year in this event.
Lawrenceburg, the last night at the Greg Scott Memorial. Big crash in the race. Pretty much destroyed everything besides the motor and my seat. Everything else was almost completely killed. So, and that was kind of an eye-opener. I've never really taken a hit that hard. But at the same time, I tell everybody that I feel like I can drive a car harder now because if that's a big one, I walked away from it. So I think in the back of my mind, it's that fear is always still there, but it's not as bad as I was thinking it would be when it was that big. Again, like I know, obviously they can't be much worse. But yeah, that's I kind of pushed everything to a limit, especially there. So now I kind of see where my line is, and that's another. I hate to say it's a momentum builder, but it is something I can take to next year to hopefully broaden our knowledge.
I sit back and look at how blessed we are as a family. And, on the racing side, being a family-owned race car, it's hard because it is a family. And, when he makes a mistake, me as a dad, Scott Bennick says, "I don't know how you do it," because I couldn't do it as a dad. And I said, "Well, it's the hardest job because I got to be the crew chief. So I got to scream at him when he's done it all," which I don't scream at him, but I have to be the stern, tough love. Hey, this is where you're making your mistakes. I have to be the supporting father and pick him up when he's down. And I have to be, the rationalist. Hey, this ain't right. This is wrong, whatever, at the same time. And my wife's the same way. She's in the same boat, other than she knows enough about racing to tell him when he's done wrong. She's pretty good on that aspect. And, she's the one we go to. Hey, can we afford to do this? Hey, we need this. Can we afford to do it? And she makes it work. She does. She pulls strings. So there's a lot more to it in a family-owned team than just a car and a driver. But to go up and down the road every night or every weekend with your kids, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Yeah. Some of the best nights that I always tell people, they're like, "Oh man, you guys did so good racing tonight." And I said, "That wasn't the fun part for me. Fun part's the drive home. It's late at night. You're tired. You're slapped happy. You're all giggly, and everybody's in a good mood." And it's funny because you start off, you leave the track, and everybody's, you're playing the race over 10,000 times. What you could have done right, what you could have done wrong, what we could have done better, what we didn't do, and or even some aspects what we did do right, and you're just having a good time. And then all of a sudden, one person gets quiet, then you're down to two people talking, then two people get quiet, and then before I know that, I'm driving by myself and everybody's sleeping, and the memories that just play in your head are just, it's a dream come true. It really is.
Sponsorship this year, we do have some open spots on the card for anybody that would be interested. But I gotta give a huge shout out to those that did come on board at O'Reilly Machine Tool, Stiffel's Home and Auto. We got a new one this year, Alicia Ferguson, or Hair by Alicia Ferguson. So really appreciate her. Joy Mayhab came back on board this year as well. Miller Performance supplied us with all of our hoses and everything to do plumbing on the race car. So we much appreciate him and his Red Horse products that he provides us with. Chase Dean Services at CDS Power Washing. He helped us out again this year. Glad to have him back on board. Performance Paint Supply, making this thing look beautiful as always. Got to thank One Shot Scrap and Recycling. They help out with our decals and all of my junk that I tear up at the end of the year. They give us really good prices. You can go see them. Matt and Heidi Flippo really help out. They're fans that became friends, that became family. So it doesn't have to be a business. We take anybody. You want to get your name on a race car any which way. And then I got to thank some race gear sponsors, Bell Helmets and K1 Race Gear. Huge shout out to them. Last year, they really kept me safe.
How excited are you to get back spring?
To get back in this thing, I'm stoked. We set the seatbelts the other night. It was the first time I had my suit on and my helmet on and sat in a race car in almost 6 months. And I told Dad, I said, that was the worst thing I could have possibly done, because now every day that I wake up, I think about it. And it sucks because I have to wait another month before I can get back in it. So, yeah, Dad has built an incredible race car. I can't thank my mom and my dad enough for giving me this opportunity in life, making my dreams come true, and hopefully theirs as well. We put together a beautiful piece this year, and I'm super excited to see what we can do. Obviously building, like we talked, off of a lot of momentum last year. I'm just ready to rip. I'm ready to feel what this thing has got to give.
What do you think, Chad?
I think he's full of shit.